Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Todd Chrisley gives control to Grayson on his way out. Todd Chrisley and his wife Julie are expected to report for their prison sentences on Tuesday, January 17. As the date draws closer, many people have kept their eyes on the Chrisley family's social media accounts and have been waiting for some kind of announcement. The family has been relatively quiet. However, it was noticed that Todd Chrisley handed over control to his son, Grayson, on one thing. What was it? Keep reading to find out. Julie and Todd Chrisley head to prison. Todd Chrisley will report to prison for his 12-year sentence on Tuesday. His wife, Julie Chrisley, will also be reporting for her 7-year sentence that day. They were handed their sentences in late November and were able to spend the holidays with their family before serving any time. While the family attorney has said that an appeal is forthcoming, it will likely be a year or more before anything happens with that. Recently, Julie Chrisley spoke out about what it would be like to be away from her husband for so long. As she contemplates the future of her marriage, Todd is trying to hand over the reins to his children before he heads off to do his bid. Todd hands over control to Grayson. It has been known that Todd Chrisley manages his son Grayson's Instagram account. In fact, it was stated that Todd managed the page in the bio until recently. As he draws closer to having to report for his prison sentence, Todd seems to have handed over control of the account. The bio now reads, "The official Instagram of Grayson Chrisley." The overall feel of the content being shared recently has changed as well. It feels like Grayson really is the one behind the posts. That being said, it was recently revealed that Savannah Chrisley actually controls most of the family's social media interactions. She shared on her podcast recently that Todd Chrisley doesn't even manage his own page, she does. Julie manages her own page, but Savannah limited comments on all of the family's pages following their guilty verdicts. According to Savannah, she limited comments across the board to protect everyone's mental health. Grayson's comment section on Instagram has always been limited, and the young reality TV star has not changed that since gaining control of the account. Savannah has also shared that she would be getting custody of her younger brother Grayson. She will also be the legal guardian of her niece, Chloe. Given Savannah's comments about managing her family's social media handles and the fact that she will be Grayson's legal guardian once Julie and Todd Chrisley go to prison, it is assumed she will control most of the content shared on Grayson's page. Either way, the months ahead are sure to be difficult for the entire Chrisley crew. The autumn sun was dipping behind the Tennessee hills when Todd Chrisley gathered his family for what would be one of the most poignant evenings of his life. The house, usually filled with sharp banter and lighthearted jabs, had a different energy tonight. Shadows stretched long, voices softened, and a subtle tension threaded through the air. Todd, always the man of control, the orchestrator of every detail in his world, had made a decision that startled everyone. He was handing the reins of his family's affairs to his youngest son, Grayson. It wasn't just symbolic. With Todd's prison sentence looming large, this was a transfer of responsibility, authority, and legacy. The announcement. Sitting at the head of the dining table, Todd leaned forward, his perfectly styled hair untouched by the weight pressing on his shoulders. "Family," he began, his southern drawl measured. "You'll know I don't like surprises unless I'm the one giving them. Tonight, I got something that's gonna shock you. I'm putting Grayson in charge while I'm gone." Every head turned toward the lanky teenager, who sat slouched in his chair, sneakers tapping nervously against the hardwood floor. Grayson's eyes widened like saucers. "Me?" he asked, half laughing, half terrified. "Yes, you," Todd replied firmly. "You've got more of me in you than anyone else in this room, whether you realize it or not. You've watched, you've learned, and now it's time to step up." Savannah, ever the protective sister, crossed her arms. "Daddy, Grayson's still a kid. You can't just put everything on him. I can handle the business stuff. I've been handling things already." Todd's gaze softened but remained steady. "Darlin', I know you're capable. You're strong, And Lord knows you've been my rock through all of this. But Grayson needs this. It's about more than money, more than paperwork. It's about teaching him responsibility, leadership, and keeping this family glued together. Julie, sitting quietly with her hands folded in her lap, offered a supportive nod. She knew Todd wasn't one to make such decisions lightly. For Grayson, the weight of his father's words settled heavily. His whole life, he'd been the baby of the family, the one people doted on, protected, teased. Now, Todd was asking him to carry a mantle that even the adults sometimes struggled to hold. "But Dad," he said slowly, "what if I mess up?" Todd smiled, his eyes twinkling with the mixture of pride and sadness that only a father facing separation could hold. "Then you mess up, son. That's how you learn. I messed up plenty before I got it right. Lord knows I'm still paying for some of those mistakes. But I trust you. And trust is the greatest gift I can give you." The room fell silent, the magnitude of the exchange washing over everyone. Lessons in control. Over the following days, Todd carved out time to prepare Grayson for the role he was about to step into. The lessons weren't just about financial ledgers or managing appearances. They were about values, resilience, and integrity. In the kitchen, Todd showed him how to budget family expenses, turning the mundane into a masterclass in foresight. "Don't spend what you don't have," Todd instructed, tapping the calculator with precision. "And always plan for tomorrow, because tomorrow don't care if you're ready or not." In the backyard, tossing a football under the fading daylight, Todd spoke about handling pressure. "Life's gonna sack you harder than any linebacker ever will. What matters is if you get back up and call the next play." And in the quiet moments before bed, Todd instilled his son with wisdom about family. "Money comes and goes, fame fades, but these people, your people, they are your world. Protect them, love them, and don't let pride get in the way of forgiveness." A new dynamic. As the days counted down to Todd's surrender, the family slowly adjusted to the idea of Grayson stepping up. Surprisingly, the teenager began to grow into the role. He asked Savannah for advice on handling media inquiries, turned to Chase for guidance about business opportunities, and leaned on his mom for emotional support. There was a moment when Todd overheard Grayson on the phone with a family friend, his voice steady and calm, discussing logistics about the household. It startled him, in the best way. The boy was finding his footing. Savannah, initially skeptical, began to see the wisdom in Todd's choice. "He's actually good at this," she admitted one evening. "Better than I thought." Todd grinned, pride swelling in his chest. "I told you, he's my mini-me, just taller and with better hair." The farewell. The morning of Todd's departure arrived too soon. Suitcases lined the foyer, and the family gathered in a heavy silence. Todd hugged each of his children, whispering private words of encouragement. When he reached Grayson, he held him tightly, longer than the others. "Son, remember what I told you. This family's in your hands now. You've got the strength. Don't let fear trick you into thinking otherwise." Grayson, eyes glassy but determined, nodded. "I won't let you down, Dad." Todd pulled back, his voice breaking for the first time. "You already made me proud." With that, he turned toward the door, Julie by his side, and walked into the next chapter of his life. One he couldn't control. But he left with peace, knowing his youngest was stepping into manhood with the lessons he had planted firmly in his heart. Epilogue. Grayson's resolve. That evening, Grayson sat alone at the dining table where it all began. The house felt emptier, quieter, but the responsibility he carried made him stand taller. He opened the family's calendar, jotting down tasks, reminders, and notes just like he'd seen his father do. Savannah walked by, pausing to see her younger brother so focused. "You're really doing this, huh?" she said softly. "Yeah," Grayson replied, his voice steady. "Dad trusted me. I'm not gonna waste that." And in that moment, for the first time, the boy who had always been shielded by his family felt the weight, and the pride, of being the one holding it together. Todd may have lost his control in the world beyond those walls, but within the Chrisley home, he had passed it on to someone who would carry it forward with a strength he never imagined possible.